Inside the OMG.
Yo.
Episode number 12.
Yo.
No. 13.
Yeah.
What am I saying? Lucky 13.
It's 13. Yep.
13.
Close. It was 12
13
last
episodes,
week.
man.
Yeah. I know. We did it.
We did it. We're here, and we got some people in here. I want to say what's up to Barry, what's up to Iris,
What's up?
Danny, Mark. Good to have you here with us.
What's up?
As we do another episode every Tuesday, we're here. We're going to play some music for you. We're going to share some stories. I got a couple videos queued up from, 2012, 2013, even 2015, 2018. So I guess 4 videos I've got queued up. And I got some pictures. We can give you a little backstory on those. And actually, to start it off, hey, what's up, Doug? What's up, Doug? From Arizona.
Hi.
I'm going to play a video first. And this was 2012. We were in the studio with Eddie Kramer. We were doing our Comeback Kings EP. And this was the guitar solo for the song Saturday Night. So I got my Jimi Hendrix wah-wah pedal, which is fitting since Eddie Kramer was engineering and producing the session. And I think I'm at the Mothership, which is Steve Vai's studio. At least it was at the time. I don't know if it's still around, but so here is Saturday Night guitar solo in the studio with Eddie Kramer. Yeah, it's good. Cut it out too early. I got a quick finger. So anyway, that was me in the studio with Eddie, and doing the solo for Saturday Night, and that was pretty surreal for me at the time. Just thinking, this guy worked closely with Jimi Hendrix, and here I am doing my wah-wah thing.
We had known him for a little while up to that point.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. We hadn't gone to France yet with him.
No, we hadn't.
But we'd been working with him for a few weeks by that point, and got real comfortable, and he was great. Just a great guy to work with, and that was a fun experience.
Do you ever leave any room for your solos to change?
Depending on how happy I am with it. If I really like the solo, then I'm gonna do it that way. So if we haven't recorded the song yet, then you'll notice that the solos change constantly because I haven't dialed in what I want to do.
Right.
But then once we record, because I like to think of, I really like guitar solos by David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, because they're really singable and melodic. So if a solo tends to be in that kind of melodic realm, then I like to kind of stick to it as a part.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It depends.
I just get curious. Because I mean, obviously, song structure wise, once you write it, it is that way. Because I noticed that, I know for a fact that my bass lines will change over time.
Yeah.
Oh, they totally will. I've heard original recordings, and I'm like, why did I do that? Then it was a good idea at the time. I hands down almost every time I'm like, nah, I know why I did that. I look back into it.
Yeah.
But over time, they will change, and I'm like, this is either improved or it just feels better.
Or it's kind of progressed.
Yeah.
In another way. I'm trying to think of a solo that maybe it's recorded and I played it like that for a while, and then I've stretched and done something else with it live.
I don't think you've ever done like a complete left field change.
Okay, Boxspring's a good example.
Yeah.
Boxspring, the recording is totally different because we have this middle section.
Well, there's that.
There's a middle section where there's like a reggae breakdown and call and response, and then the guitar solo comes in after that, and that's different than the recording. But once I figured out what I wanted to do with it, then I kind of...
Because you don't really even do it. No, you do. You have a solo.
In the recording, yeah, on the recording I have a little bit of a solo. But
we do it live, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the one you recorded.
No.
That's why.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. I don't even remember what I did on the recording.
I don't either. I think I heard it the other night, too, and I was like...
Huh. Okay.
I don't know about that. It wasn't bad, but it was new. It felt new. It might as well felt new.
It was like it was brand new.
Pretty much, yeah.
So speaking of Boxspring, we're going to kick off with that first. We're going to play that live for you. Story I like to read. You fill my head with mystery. With every chapter I am intrigued. Young suspense is thrilling me. Doesn't matter if I'm white, red, if you're chocolate, can bust the Boxspring. Don't matter to tell them. White toast, crack the bedroll. I think good things should wake up the neighborhood. Bust the Boxspring. You are the honey I like to eat. Taste of you, extra sweet. With every drop, I am in need. Fill me up with ecstasy. Oh, doesn't matter if I'm white, red, if you're chocolate, can bust the Boxspring. Don't matter to tell them. White toast, crack the bedroll. I think the good thing should wake up the neighborhood. I love all flavors, shapes and size. I love all colors, black to white. This is the part we all sing along. Just repeat after me. Oh, whoa, 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 Doesn't matter if I'm white bread, if you're chocolate. if I'm white bread, if you're chocolate. Don't matter, now tell them white toast. Doesn't matter if I'm white bread, if you're chocolate. Don't matter, now tell them white toast, white toast. Doesn't matter if I'm white bread, if you're chocolate, combust the Boxspring. Don't matter, now tell them white toast, crack the bell. Doesn't matter if I'm white bread, if you're chocolate, combust the Boxspring. Don't matter, now tell them white toast, crack the bell. I think a good thing should wake up the neighborhood. Ooh, bust the Boxspring. Ooh, bust the Boxspring. Ooh, ooh, bust the Boxspring. Yeah. Ooh, bust the Boxspring. All right.
Ooh.
Bust the Boxspring. Man,
Yeah.
like that.
It's always a workout each time.
Yeah,
It's a finger stretcher.
it is.
It is.
All right, so I want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about
Well,
your kind of coming up in music and what instrument you started playing first
my coming up.
and why you
Still
dove
happening.
into that.
It's still happening.
Okay.
Right? I'm still coming up.
Coming up.
Coming up, Millhouse.
So how old were you when you started playing your first instrument?
Oh, I just had to answer this for somebody like the other, Sunday, I think. I was probably, I think I track it. It's somewhere around like 13 or 14.
Okay.
I think when I started playing, I started with guitar because I didn't know what else to do. I was like, let's just start.
That looks good.
I don't. Yeah. I think I just felt like the compulsion of like, oh, if you're gonna learn an instrument, you should probably just start on guitar. Also helpful to or worth noting that like I felt like the piano was unapproachable.
Okay.
There was something about a piano and probably just the size of a typical one.
Right.
Yeah, obviously comparison to a guitar or something like that, but like piano felt like a really intimidating instrument, but it's very counterintuitive to what people will tell you about it, because the people will tell you for the sake of learning it, like the notes are just laid out there, like all you have to do is play it, and it's like I still don't think that's a fair argument. I don't think it's helpful. It's definitely, I consider it not helpful. It's like someone who hasn't learned to drive and you just explain like it's just a wheel and pedals, like it's just there, you just do it, and it's like until you get behind it, like the mechanics of doing it. So even playing the piano is still something that I have to spend the time on these days. I haven't mastered it yet in any way whatsoever.
Okay.
So I probably got a guitar. I was around like 13 or 14,
right. And was there a particular guitar player or band that you were into that made you go, I need to pick this up and I need to like try to play these songs, or I could do that? Or
I think formative wise, like I kind of took in a lot of information. I took in a lot of bands like all at once, and so I was trying. I had a lot of influence. He'll be proud to hear this later. I had a lot of good influence from my uncle Keith, actually.
Oh, okay.
Who is a soothsayer of classic rock bands and Americana bands and great stuff like that. He's a huge Deadhead, huge Deadhead, Jerry Garcia fan, like insanely. So the Grateful Dead was like always a presence in my head, but very mythical too because of like the imagery of the Grateful Dead. So
Yeah.
like I knew what Dancing Bears were before I'd ever heard a single note of Grateful Dead music, and I was like, I guess that's cool. I guess that's something that people are into, and
Right.
just was completely untapped into that entire culture until I watched documentaries later. I learned a lot late in life about the Dead. But one of the kind of influences I think through osmosis that he kind of had for me was like the Who. The Who was a really early influence.
Yeah.
Just that whole band, like as a unit. That would have been more of like an old school reference that I was early influenced by, and then I think like Green Day would have been a more modern one.
Okay.
And in terms of like bands that were like active at the time and stuff like that, very active at the time. So yeah, I got a guitar and I got a chord book, and I just sort of sat down and started learning chords, and at the same time still going on to shout out ultimateguitar.com and and like finding tabs to like all the songs that I wanted to play. So I was kind of like mixing the two and kind of not committing to one or the other. I was kind of just picking and choosing from between things and sort of figuring it out. And so I really just stumbled upon what even a power chord was.
Right.
Because you just if you look at a tab of it,
Yeah.
you're just kind of like 7 5 5 5. That's like really weird. Like how do I finger that? Like I don't understand like how I'm supposed to do that. And so even to this day, my power chords are very like rickety and like they're not like fully formed. Because I learned the wrong way. It's like when you learn to play piano the wrong way. It's like, oh, your fingers just do weird things when you play on the keys now.
Right.
I guess you can play cooler chords than us, maybe.
Yeah.
So those were like early influences, and then I played not even like with people, like probably just to myself for about like a year.
Okay.
And then I notably like hit a ceiling
With guitar.
With guitar.
Okay.
I either wasn't ready to move on to the next level. I also didn't have a teacher who was pushing me onto any sort of next level. It was just kind of, I heard a song and I wanted to play it, so I just tried to figure it out.
So at this point, no lessons, no formal instruction.
No lessons.
And so what would, like, you come home from school and just jump into the guitar, or was it just kind of like every now and then you pick it up? I mean, how regular was the...
It was probably more every now and again. To this day, I have little incentive to practice, almost ever. I'm the one who is like, why are we here? Because I think also too, I gleaned a lot at an early age of like listening to something probably like at school, probably sneaking a CD player or something like into school,
right?
And like listening to it over and over again to try to figure out like what was even being played. That bled more into other instruments I played after guitar, I think. But just the idea of like of learning the song kind of in and out and being able to hear it and sort of understanding that there were chord changes happening before I could tell you what the chords were. I just
so
knew
you were like really actively listening.
Kinda, yeah.
Before even tackling it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. A skill that even to this day is like lyrics are very much an afterthought for me.
Yeah.
It's just I could sing lyrics to 1,000 songs that I know, but am not very rarely, like out of the many that I know, will connect the actual lyrics to the song. So anytime someone leads with like, oh, the lyrics of that song are just so moving, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
To go back and actually read
I'm
it.
not paying attention. An argument that I've had with my wife over and over again. So she sees it in a different perspective.
So it's kind of music first, lyrics second.
It's absolutely music first, lyrics second.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't always that way. So but I hit like a ceiling where I wasn't being pushed to anything further, and I kind of had learned everything that up to that point that I was interested in.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I'm satisfied. This is fine.
Okay.
And probably also a little just burnt out of playing. Because I also wasn't playing with other people at the time. I was just kind of, just in your room. So when you just feel like playing. And I think I was just burned out and didn't really... And was kind of like, I may be done. This may be a phase and I may be completely out of it. But then I was still interested in music. I still like listening to it. I still wanted to play it. But I think I just became like just envious of other players. And so, again, having that repetition of listening to the song and trying to learn it and stuff like that, then I would sort of like shift my focus to other instruments. So I was like, I would listen to a song for the guitar part, but all I'm paying attention to is the drum part at a certain point. And then it's like, I think this would be a lot more interesting.
So then at what point did the drums really come in strong?
It probably would have been like a year after. So if 13
Okay.
or 14 is when I started, it would have been around
50,
14. It was
14, 15.
Yeah, it was a very like clearly defined like.
You were like,
year.
oh, drums.
Yeah. Oh.
Why have I been playing guitar this whole time? I
I've been-
could be playing drums.
I've been wasting my time not sitting in the back, getting to sit for the whole show.
Yeah.
So I approached my mom after a year, and I was like, "Mom, I think I want to play drums." And she's like, "What about your guitar?" And I was like, "I think I'm just over it.
What about it?
I don't know. I think I'm not interested anymore." She's like, "I'm not buying you a new drum kit.
Okay.
It's not happening."
Fair enough. So what'd you end up doing?
We had a rickety used set that our church had that was stashed in the back. And, like missing resonant heads and everything like that. Just the perfect and picture perfect. I think it was a pearl. I think
Okay.
it was a pearl set, actually.
Yeah.
A blue sparkle pearl kit.
All right.
I want to say it was.
Did you
Maybe
brought
it's
it
not mine.
home, or did you just play it at the church, or what did you do?
Brought it home. They didn't care about it that much because we were pretty plugged in, and they knew they could take it back if they really needed to, but it was just taking up space anyway. And
I'm sure your parents were very pleased.
well, yeah.
So the drums in the house.
Well, so the argument comes in. Some people would say like, "Oh, so you just put them out in the garage." And bless my father, love him so much to this day. I brought those drums home. I played them in my room like every day from school. With them, I was much more tenacious in terms of like I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And I came home and did it every day. And bless his heart, we also had construction going on at the same time in our master bathroom. So
That's actually perfect.
it was wall to wall, just
Sound.
noise and nonsense. Because they were just, jackhammering in the bathroom. And I was like, well, forget this. I'm just going
That's perfect, actually.
Perfect.
They
I'll
won't
just-
mind me.
Yeah, neighbors won't care at this
I
point.
practice my John Bonham,
I can get away with it.
Keith Moon.
Pretty much, yeah.
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 So what drummers were you like? I mean, I guess if you're into the Who, so Keith Moon.
Keith Moon was
Yeah.
totally one, and then Trey Cool, just in Green Day, was
Okay.
just like those are the immediate two
Right.
that were that stuck out really well.
So how about that whole, Keith Moon versus John Bonham? That was an argument before our time.
I know, it's a thing.
So I didn't know, like, if it passed you by and you didn't care, or
I was so I think keeping in mind at the time that I was pretty young and pretty formidable and also pretty shy. I've reflected up to this point in my life actually, and there is, and this is completely ridiculous, but this is the way I thought back in the day. I was like, well, the Who is just this nice, wholesome, fun band. Like those are just guys that just want to have fun. Or
Yeah.
having fun.
yeah.
But these Led Zeppelin guys, like they're kind of dirty and nasty. And they
yeah.
seem like bad boys. And I don't want to deal with
Okay.
bad boys. So
Ah.
so for years, I was on the argument of like, well, the Who are just nice guys.
Wow.
Led Zeppelin are pretty shady.
Right.
I don't know if I could trust Led Zeppelin.
You don't know if you. And that's almost like a Beatles versus Stones thing.
It is a little bit of that.
Right? Because Beatles were like the clean cut, and the Stones were like, oh no, you don't want to mess with those.
Yeah. So I fell heavy on the Who side. But even then, to this day, having done more of
That's
my
funny.
research and listened to it all, like I lean more Who.
Okay.
Probably just due to upbringing at this
Yeah.
point. But it was, I didn't necessarily have like the big brother or like a record store shop guy to like
Yeah.
guide me in the instance of like, oh, you need Led Zeppelin in your life. It was just like, no, I'm gravitating towards the Who.
Okay.
So it naturally came that way for me. And then I just took the drums like I guess the way my mom sort of describes it, it was like a duck to water. There was I have a hard time relating it, I think, to people too, because there is such a the idea of having to move all four of these limbs,
Yeah.
or at least three of them
Yeah.
at the same time.
Independently and.
Well, independently, but even like cohesively, correctly, because it's
Yeah.
easy enough to just do this. I think everybody understands that. That's
Yeah.
what every adolescent does the first time they approach a kit. But really, like day one, without any sort of lessons, like it locked in for some reason to me, and just the idea of I had that one beat that I knew by heart and couldn't describe it to you like in any way whatsoever, but it just came so much more naturally to me, which was weird. I was playing for like 3 weeks, and my mom was like, "You seem really natural at that for some reason." At which point she insisted upon lessons. She was like,
Okay.
if you're good, you seem good at this."
Right. So we might as well give you a little structure and guidance with
Yeah,
it.
she knowing nothing about drums, she was like, "You seem like you could do it. Let me see if I can just get a private teacher in here." So I had a private teacher through a friend of a friend, And I did that for about a year, which I hated. He was a good teacher, but I reflect poorly on being taught the arts.
Yeah.
Sometimes
You like to be you wanna just find it your own way.
a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit. And then, but I had like private lessons for a year, and it was really good. It was really helpful. And then hit another ceiling, just inevitably, just totally found another ceiling, and ended up just in short, basically jumped back over to guitar.
Okay.
Did that for like another year and a half or so, because then I was moving between two instruments now.
Right.
And then at a certain point, like a couple years later, I was like, I might as well just round it out. Let's find a bass. Let me find a cheap bass.
And just start playing that.
Because
really, that's the marriage of the two.
yeah,
Because it's obviously you're locked into the drums, which
right.
you love, and then you've got the harmonic, sensibility of the guitar, but you're playing it on bass.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, you're not really thinking about chords necessarily. So, but you can like move around and outline chords and
Honestly, it was less intimidating because arguably I don't think I would have played bass because again hadn't really approached piano or keys at this point.
Okay.
But I arguably there's the placebo effect that you tell yourself in your head, and I definitely looked at the bass and I said like 4 strings. That seems easier. I won't have to work as hard as I do on guitar. That was basically and. So when you tell yourself that in your head, it's like any sort of obstacle you have to counter. Like if you take it like piece by piece, if you just look at it for practically what it is and you just dissect it out, you're just like, no, I can do this. You know what I mean? So bass it felt easier.
That's so funny.
So offensive to every bass player out there, and I get it. I don't say it regularly,
but you said it now.
I said it now for the world to see. So,
yeah.
And so I've always just been used to
all three,
just jumping between everything.
Right. And what's amazing is when we were without a bass player and we needed one, had you been playing bass in any bands, or it was more you were playing drums in bands, and bass was like something that you played? Is this the first band you actually played bass in, or did you play bass in other bands?
I played bass in other bands. Mostly because every band I approached seemed to already have a drummer. It's the spot that everyone wants to fill first, typically, if they're capable of doing it, to whatever degree. But I had played bass in a couple bands before, that were more like singer-songwriter-ish.
All right, got it.
Yeah. So it was fine. But I mean, typically, if someone will ask me at this point what I play, like I lead with drums. I really do.
Yeah.
Because it can be confusing if people know you from like 3 different bands and you play 3 different instruments. Like what exactly do you do?
Yeah.
But I like being able to jump in between, and it's helped me play better with other people.
Sure.
Just to have the understanding of what instrument am I bringing to the table, what am I responsible for, what is everyone else responsible for.
Right.
And it's an aspect in terms of playing, and when I've taught a little bit that I've really like harbored into other people, that I'm like, it's important that because if you're going to be in a band and play together and like grow up learning to play together, then that's obviously one way to do it. But when you've been sitting in your room for 10 years and then all of a sudden you join a band, like you don't know how loud you are. You have no idea. And that's typically just how it goes. It's like you will be the guy to come in and someone will ask you, you probably need to turn down. It rarely are you turning up if you're the newest member of a band. It just doesn't, it usually doesn't go that way. But being able to jump between the 3 and understanding kind of its role and really what it was capable of doing and not capable of doing made me approach every band I played in like better, because I understood that like I can't overcompensate for what the drums are doing. Like I'm playing a 4-stringed instrument and he has like a 12-piece kit. Like there's only so much I can do in terms of what I have here to work with. So we need to work together, figure out where each of us should be doing something. Right. You know what I mean? Like just the unspoken sort of language of being able to play in a band together. It's just the kind of thing that it's just hard to teach somebody. Unless you unless you're driving, like it seems easy enough when you look at it, but you have to get behind the wheel. You actually have to see what the car feels like, what it's going to do. Sure. Then you learn how to talk to it.
And it's, having 3 instruments under your belt is also, it's like 3 different languages.
A little bit.
So, the more languages that it becomes easier to learn a new language just because you're used to kind of the systems of learning a language and the nuances of it. And so, like you mentioned, being a drummer, being a guitar player, and then playing bass, understanding like, oh, okay, I know what kind of I need to do to kind of fill my end of the deal.
Yeah.
You know, because I know what the drummer needs as a drummer. I know what the guitar player needs as a guitar player. And then, you know, you fill that low end.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I have musical ADD. It's just I'm never satisfied.
Yeah.
I always figured the grass was greener on the other side. Sometimes it isn't.
Sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's not.
I still have not committed to playing keys, obviously, as you can tell.
Yeah, but I've heard you play. I've heard you sit down at the piano, and
I've
you're
been
like,
all right.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm a whole note piano player.
That's okay. That's okay. You're like getting ideas out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're gonna play another video for you. This is from 2015. We were at the NAMM Jam. This was Scott Pistol Crockett.
Scott.
He hosted the NAMM Jam. He actually hosts it every year, and we were in Fullerton at do you remember the place?
It's not Slide
Roscoes.
Bar, right?
It's called Roscoes.
Yeah, that's it.
And this is us playing Get a Room. This was 2015. Here we are. It's not Get a Room. It's Boxspring. This is House of Blues 2013. Playing Boxspring.
I missed that guitar cable.
Where was that?
It was like a red guitar cable I used to have.
What happened to it?
I don't know. It's probably just broken.
Oh.
It was a good one, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it extra long or just sturdy or?
I think it was just
you liked it because it was red. I miss that guitar player. I mean that guitar cable because it was red.
You just notice things like that when you're watching it. It's like, oh, I remember I used to have that. I remember I used to have nice things.
I remember that one.
I remember my childhood.
Yeah.
You know.
So I was gleaning over the comments here, and that's pretty cool. Jimmy had asked some questions, and without us even looking, you answered.
I got lucky.
That was pretty good. And
I don't know if I guess, yeah, I guess in terms of like if being a drummer taught me how to be a better bass player, or like the other way around, or informed it, I guess it made me aware. Well, it probably helped me be a better bass player because it made me realize that once I started finding where all the weird hits were in songs, like where you could put weird things like rhythmically,
Right.
then I approached a stringed instrument differently. It also, I will say too, and this has been talked about in many formats too, but it's made me a different guitar player.
Playing bass?
Yeah, well, being a drummer.
Being a drummer.
Because
I see that.
like I think there's a Dave Grohl theory about this, like when you, or even like any art school kid that approaches like guitar, like when you approach a stringed instrument as a different type of instrument, you'll play it differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when you start getting into like people who play with bows and things like that. Which is like, it's funny, it's comical to look at.
But it's like just approaching it differently.
You're looking at it differently, you know what I mean? Or someone like Tom Morello, who is approaching his guitar arguably at times like a percussion instrument.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and then he's manipulating it with those effects. So like when you approach it differently in terms of that, then it's like, oh, it opens up a whole new avenue for playing it. Yeah. You know.
For sure. All right. Let me see.
There's comments.
Comments. Yeah, a lot of comments today.
Who's really talkative tonight?
Yeah, so Beth has joined us.
Hi, Beth.
Jim is here.
Go Dodgers.
So I just have a quick baseball update. So my son Miko's and his team, they're in the playoffs.
Right, yes.
And they won tonight, so they advance.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's like all week, isn't it?
Good job, Miko. Yeah, it's all week. It's crazy. But it's like, because
he played
single elimination.
He play Sunday
now.
and Monday too?
He did, but that was All Stars.
Oh, okay.
So right now he's on 2 teams.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the regular season playoffs, and so good job, Miko. You guys won. I think they went into extra innings. So before we started streaming, I was following on Game Changer. There's this great app. It's like an ESPN app, but it's Game Changer, so I can like follow my son's games if I can't be there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think they went into extra innings, and then we started streaming live, and I don't know what happened, but now I know.
There you go.
So, go Trojans!
Congrats.
All right, Miko. So there you go. All right, so Diane was asking House of Blues. Yes, that was House of Blues in Anaheim.
It was. Yes.
That was House of Blues Anaheim. That was 2013, and yeah, I had my signals crossed here, so I thought it was...
He found it. It's okay.
I thought it was Get a Room, which will come later.
He found it.
It'll come later, but yeah, that was the case. So a lot of you have joined, and I appreciate you being here. This is great.
What's up?
We're gonna share some photos with you, and give a little story behind each one. So,
slideshow time.
Here we go.
Oh
Slideshow.
my goodness.
This is Evansville.
This brings up a lot of memory.
Evansville. We're in the middle of America.
That picture doesn't do justice to how hot and humid it was, too. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. That was, so shout out to Todd Hubbard, who hooked us up with a great place to stay.
He did.
Fed us great food and took care of us. That was awesome. But, so that was, part of our tradition of taking a shot of the black box. So what you can't see is probably the marquee is behind you. So I was taking a shot of the black box with, whatever the venue was that we played at. I can't remember.
I had a stalker in that town, too.
You did?
You remember that?
I do now. I forgot about that.
That guy, yeah. Because weren't we there we
were there a couple days.
We were there like 2 or 3 days.
A couple days, and Todd was he was showing, all the guitars that he'd been making.
Yeah.
And so we were there it just kind of worked out. We had a day off. So we played one night, and then one night we were just like relaxing.
Yeah.
But
the other thing you can't see in that picture is my fear that she may turn the corner at any moment.
You can't see your fear in that.
Yeah. That's another story that I don't want to bring up right now. But
okay, so we won't bring that up. But it all worked out.
It filled me with fear when I saw that.
It all worked out.
I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. So that was before our show in Evansville.
We survived.
Yep. Oh, here we are in this very room.
Yep.
I think we were probably doing a writing session. And behind you, there's a Soccer Mom T-shirt hanging in the closet.
Oh, there is. Look at that.
How about that? So we were judging by the shirt I'm wearing and the computer I've got in the background.
That's what I was going to say.
The Star Wars lunchbox. I have on my speaker.
Yeah. It's still in here.
That's probably 2013-ish. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Around
I can
2013.
tell. I think I can tell by my computer too.
Yeah.
Technology.
Is that your computer, your laptop next to? Is that yours on
maybe. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it probably is.
the? Okay.
Oh man, and you'd have the silver keys.
Oh yeah.
Throwing it back.
Yeah. How about that?
I ran that thing into the ground.
This was an award show in Hollywood. We went. I think the One Last Goodbye song was nominated, and it was the Hollywood Music Awards.
Yes.
And we were there. And actually, that was the night that.
What venue
It was
that?
so. I think it was at.
It was on.
It was
the
held
strip.
at. It was held at what was called the Key Club, or then became Billboard Live. And years ago, it was in the same spot as Gazzari's.
But it wasn't
And,
like the actual Key Club.
I thought. I mean, I think. Well, the actual awards show was in the Key Club.
No, I remember
Upstairs.
going in. It
Yeah.
was still called the Key Club at that point.
No, I think it was called Billboard Live.
It had changed.
Or maybe even a different name. And I don't even know what it is now.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't even know if bands play there. It just might be, fancy DJs and their laptops.
Because I think I kind of remember it being like when we went there. That had been my first. I mean, I've lived in this city my whole life, but I'd never been in that venue before.
Yeah.
And I think there was some understanding as far as I could tell. Like, this used to be the Key Club or something like that. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Used to be, right.
It's by the time I went, this is 2014, 15?
Yeah. 14,
somewhere around
something
there?
like 14, 15.
I mean, it was
somewhere
just a
there.
club, it was just a DJ, and I
Yeah.
was like, this place is different.
Yeah, different. On the Sunset Strip.
Different vibe.
You and Eddie Kramer.
Oh my goodness.
This is at LMU. This was the first weekend with him.
That was the
We
first
were-
time I met him.
Recording Hello Goodbye.
He had probably, at this point, told about 3 to 4 fart jokes,
I think
arguably
so.
at this point.
Probably.
He's full,
Yeah.
he's full of them, pun intended.
He relaxed the room.
He really did. He broke the tension.
He did.
Because I was so nervous about meeting him because I didn't know what he was going to be like as a person. I was like, he's not going to stand for any shenanigans. And sure enough, just fart jokes galore.
Yeah.
That's what's his thing.
He's loaded.
Pun
Yes.
intended.
This is in Bisbee. Look at that. Look at you. I mean, that is sheer determination.
I'm rarely aware of when people are taking photos of me. And I'm happier for it.
And I think I'm startled. Like, I'm thinking, hey, are you all right? Are you angry?
D looks pretty scared too. In
And
this
D,
one.
yeah, I mean,
He really
how
does.
does D even know what your face just determined you are?
It's about as wicked as it gets in this photo.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
that's a good one. So we're in Bisbee, Arizona, and that is the.
I know. I'm doing the same thing that you are.
My mind is running a blank.
Is it the Grand?
No, it is not the
It's
Grand,
not the Grand.
and it is
I
not
want to say
St.
I
Elmo.
want to say Elmo's, but
Nope,
it's not Elmo's.
No, it's not.
Come on.
Come on, someone from Bisbee,
I can picture
help
it.
us out.
Doug. Doug knows the answer to this.
Come on, Doug. I'm waiting for you to reply.
I know you're out there. It's the one that it sits across from like Elmo's, basically.
Yeah, and it's like on
Not
the
across.
corner. It's on the corner.
Yeah.
And you have to go up the steps, and
Come on.
we're gonna remember.
Oh, getting old. Getting old.
But it was a good room.
Yeah.
It was fun. That was actually the same spot where from last week
We
we shot
played
with Melissa.
Melissa. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same.
That might have
Same stage.
have been the same night.
It could have been.
Could have been. Yeah. I don't remember.
There's our Comeback Kings promo shot, which was actually shot in a field here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, the other.
We just made it happen. And actually, so that theme, that Comeback Kings theme, I really like that idea of having the bench. So I
Yeah.
rented that bench.
Oh, did you really?
I had to rent that bench.
I thought it was just there.
No.
Huh.
I had to rent it because I couldn't find it. And anywhere there was a bench like that, it's like chained to the fence.
Well, yeah, because it's
a public
city
field.
property.
Yeah,
dude.
So I rented it from one of the rental houses in the valley, and
I probably know where you got it.
Yeah. made that happen.
The other thing you don't see in that video is all the literal baseball games that were being played around us at the time.
That's true.
That was shot.
That's true. It's like we're in between.
There were full-on games happening.
We're
around
like
us.
mid-inning. Like, quick, get the shot.
I know it looks like we rented like a whole field for that, but we guerrillaed that one.
Stock Exchange.
That's
Thank
it.
you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
That's
Yep.
Stock Exchange.
Stock Exchange. I can see the E now up there.
Yeah.
Now I realize
Yeah,
that's it.
I can't believe we couldn't remember that. Thank you, Randy. Randy.
That seems
Man,
right.
you hooked us up.
Randy.
So, Comeback Kings.
Yep.
This is NAMM Jam,
This is NAMM Jam.
and this is at Roscoe's in Fullerton. And I love this shot because you've got this amazing stretch happening. This is the art of playing bass without playing bass. Like
I'm not a bass player.
that.
I should clarify that again
I mean,
to everybody.
that's performance bass playing.
Not a bass player. It's not my thing.
That is amazing. I love that.
It's okay. He's okay.
Nah, he's got it going on.
He's okay.
He's got it going on. Yeah, that was a fun
It's hard
night.
to tell every once in a while because it looks like something's going wrong.
No, I think I don't see it that way.
I try to play it off.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You played it off. If
I
something
don't
was
know.
going wrong, you were just like, yeah. That's a good stretch, though. I like that stretch.
It could have been. Yeah, I just could have been cramping up. Who knows?
Just kind of working it out.
I was mostly just cramping up, probably. That's what
It's
I do.
funny. All right, we're back to Stalker Town.
Yeah. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, Shannon has joined. Who else is in here? Alexa's in here. Thank you for joining. Excellent. Yeah. Doug, you were at that gig. Yes.
That's what everyone says, Doug.
Yeah. No, but you guys were there. You guys were there.
I was at the first Guns N' Roses show. I was totally there.
I was there.
Everyone says
I really
that.
was.
No, Doug was probably there.
Yeah.
I give him credit.
That's good. Let's play another song.
Grandfather. Okay. Okay. We can do that.
Play another song.
Uh,
So, how about we do Hello Goodbye?
Any objections?
None from the group. Which is good. We will just do our thing.
It's on the docket.
All right. I think I'm all queued up with my pedals and my sounds, and
Find out.
I think we're good. Count us in, Mr. Drummer.
No. That's not what I do. 2, 3, 4.
We come and go. Sometimes we stay a little while. We never know how long. We catch a glimpse of how we think it should be. We try to hold on. We say hello, so long, goodbye, till we meet again. We say hello, so long, goodbye. This is not the end. Oh, photographs that take us on the way back, another place in time. Remember when we thought things never would change? We try to hold on. We say hello, so long, goodbye, till we meet again. We say hello, so long, goodbye. This is not the end. In between goodbye and the next hello, I'm reminiscing. Farewell to my friends. May our love transcend. It's you I'm missing. Hello, goodbye. That was
Yeah.
written for friends that you haven't seen in a long time. You pick up right where you left off, and you're back in it.
Boom.
You're back in it.
Back in it.
So it's dedicated to all of our friends, and now all of our friends that have passed on. So
Right.
it's it carries on. Goes out to you, D. All right. So speaking of that NAMM Jam from 2015, let's see.
Now.
Let's see if this works
Now.
right this time.
He'll get it. He'll get it.
Get a room.
He'll get it.
NAMM Jam.
He'll get it.
Get a room.
Up close shots in that one.
Very close.
Very close.
Very close.
A bit too close, some would say.
Some. Not all.
Some have said it.
Have they?
Some have said it.
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun night, though.
That was good.
That was good.
Scott's always good to us.
Yeah. Always good. So, wanted to give you a little update on what's been going on. We are in the middle of auditioning drummers, and we do have a show that is booked the end of actually early September, and it's as I mentioned last week, it's in another state. And so you don't know this though. We are working on booking some other venues along the way, to and from, and we've got some some good people helping us actually putting on a really cool show. Well, I'll say this. Danny from KWSS in Phoenix, Arizona, is hooking us up with. We're working on some things that could be really cool. A show out there. Either that will be one of the stops on the way to this festival or on our return. So we have to figure that out. But I was chatting with her today, so that's a good thing. And I know Iris is working hard on filling some other dates. And so once everything is solidified, we will definitely let you know what's happening with all that. So that's exciting. And we march on, we continue, and there's some exciting things in the works. And I'm not going to share anything else about that. But just it's safe just to say that things are moving in the right direction, and we're very excited about things. So that being said, we do have one more video to play for you, and this was from. So if you all remember the band Heart with Ann and Nancy Wilson, Nancy had a side project last year. And she probably is still doing. I don't know. I know Hart's doing some dates this summer, but she has a band called Roadcase Royale. Nancy does, and so last year in June, we opened for them at the Coach House, and this is one of the new songs that we're going to be putting on our new album. The album will be called Party Up, and this song is Dirty. Live from the Coach House, June 2018. Dirty.
This is a true story about how much I kidnapped on our way back to Southern California. It's funny when you think about it. The sun goes down, you're up to no good. You know the ones, you know the ones. Work real hard, looking good when you should. You know the ones, you know the ones. Yeah.
Dirty. We can get dirty.
He was on fire that night, man.
Yeah. He was sounding great.
Yep.
Sounded great. All right. Well, episode 13.
13.
I think that's in the books.
I think so.
I think we got it.
That was an hour.
That was an hour. It was quick.
It was a super quick hour.
It was quick. It was filled with good info on Kelley.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good perspective.
I don't know.
It's good perspective. Next week, I'll share my music story and how I started and why I started and
Yeah.
all the little, things I went through to get to where we are. And so I'll share that next week, and we
Yeah.
can talk about those things.
Oh,
That'll
yeah.
be episode 14 on Tuesday, which will be June.
Yes. Yes, it will be.
We'll be in June next week. So that's amazing.
Barreling through the year.
Yeah,
It goes quick.
it does. It does. So thanks so much for being in here. Thanks so much for participating,
Thanks, guys.
commenting,
Appreciate it.
all the love and support.
Thank you for the questions.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here and for us to do our thing, share stories, videos, play some songs. It's awesome. And as we move forward, we look forward to getting back out on the road and actually performing live in our fully plugged in,
Element.
our
element.
in our element, which will be a good thing. All right, we're going to leave you with the last track for episode 13, which was on our Untitled album. And there was a TV show, although this was not the theme song to this TV show.
It's not on the air anymore, right?
I don't know. I don't know if they had their series finale.
It went on a lot longer than I recall.
I think it was still on this past year.
It's very possible.
So it's a show on ABC. It may be over. It may not.
There's
it
no way
might continue.
We've never seen it.
I don't know. This song is called "Getting Away with Murder," and you will see Dee's title card as the song plays out. And we will be back next week. Thanks so much. See you then.
Left you sleeping in the back of my mind. Now I see you creeping to places I was hard to find. Haunted, I'm taunted. I wanted to keep you under lock and key. I keep my skeletons locked away. Somehow my skeletons are out to play. You're getting away with murder, guilty of your crime. You're getting away with murder, time to try for time. You're getting away with murder, you should be doing time.
Use me, control me, gotta have me to get all the things you wanted. You're scheming and conniving, you're thriving, and once you got your